offensive line of pass protecting in the NFL. Aaron Rodgers is absolutely going to shred this weekend. I feel sorry for the Vikings defense.
Hey, listen, and if you're one of those people that like Halloween and you like horror movies and you might watch Freddy Krueger, you might watch Jason Voorhees, what you need to watch is Tua Tagovailoa go against the Los Angeles Rams so you can see a real horror story, so you can see a real killer in Aaron Donald. I can't wait to see what they do to minimize him, or if Aaron Donald gets loose and has a scary, scary weekend for Tua Tagovailoa.
You're right, RC, but I'm going to go to the big matchup of the week with the Ravens and the Steelers. Ronnie Stanley just got paid, baby. He got the sum of $98 million. But this week, he got TJ Watt and Bud Dupree. It does not stop, big dog. You're going to earn them millions that the Ravens just gave you. We'll see if you can keep them contained, big dog.
Yeah, Marcus, this Steelers offense ranks first in time of possession and is tied for fifth in points, but lacked explosiveness thus far. Only the Jets have fewer 10-yard plays this season. On the other side of the ball, Lamar Jackson hoping to bounce back from his only career start against Pittsburgh, where he threw 3 interceptions while taking 5 sacks. And it'll certainly be a tough test for Jackson and Big Ben on both sides, as this game features the league's most efficient defenses who are finding success with their aggressive blitzing schemes. Ryan, you know the Steelers defense well. You've played in this rivalry, but why is this game even bigger for the Steelers, even long-term for this season?
Well, listen, this game is important because this is about saying you belong. This is about saying that the group of people that you've put together are the best group of people that you could see, the best group of people that you could put on the field. It's kind of like Casual Fridays on NFL Live. We come on here every week to show y'all that when y'all put us together, this is the best group you could put together. So we got to come out and shine. That's what the Baltimore Ravens and Pittsburgh Steelers matchup is about. They have to go out there and show you that they are the #1 contender to the throne. They are the team that has the pieces that could beat the Kansas City Chiefs. And what better way to do that when you aren't getting the credit, when you aren't getting talked about, than to beat the team that was the favorite of many coming into the season. Right now, it's time for the Pittsburgh Steelers to show in back-to-back weeks they can go on the road and win in Tennessee and in Baltimore while keeping the lead for the first playoff spot in the AFC by beating the Baltimore Ravens.
No doubt, RC, but you know what you love about this game, man? It's a throwback to old school football. Like, we talk about 53 in the third and teams using spread offenses and speeding things up and using jet sweep motion and all of that. This is a slobber knocker. This is the Ravens personnel against the Pittsburgh Steelers personnel. This is big on big. Both teams like to run the football, and both teams like to stop the run. And then on the back end, Ben is getting the ball out of his hands real quick. Calais Campbell has to have a big game. We have to hear his name called quite a bit in this matchup. And also Humphreys, Peters, Smith on the back end against Claypool, Juju, Deontay Johnson, James Washington. This is about playmakers making plays. I love the fact that we break down personnel decisions and schemes and what this team can do to take advantage of some things about weaknesses, but not this one. This is a great matchup on both sides of the ball, and it's going to boil down to Big Ben either playing out Lamar Jackson or vice versa, and the Ravens personnel and the Pittsburgh Steelers personnel, and seeing if you can beat your man. Because at the end of the day, all right, I know all of the schemes matter, and I know it helps. But the game still boils down to, can you whoop the man across from you? And that's what I love about this matchup. I love about this series. And that's what's going to be fun about this game, Mina Kimes.
Yeah, well, so Mina, when you think about the personnel situation here, especially for Lamar Jackson, does he have enough weapons, particularly when it comes to on the outside in that offense, to be able to get this done? How can this Ravens coaching staff help Lamar, even from a scheme standpoint right now?
Well, from that standpoint, Laura, this is a really challenging matchup for Lamar in particular, because what does the Steelers defense do very well? Blitz. They are an absolute nightmare up front. What has Lamar struggled at this season? He has struggled against the blitz. And I want to put something to rest. I've heard people say, yes, he's exposed. Lamar was second in QBR versus the blitz last year. He was amazing out of empty, but this year he has regressed. The protection has regressed, and you alluded to the weapons. He simply doesn't have that secondary weapon to Hollywood Brown and Mark Andrews, tertiary, I guess, that he can hit quickly underneath. And that's what he's going to have to do against this Steelers defense. At times, he's going to have to get that ball out quickly. He's also going to have to run. I would not be surprised if Lamar Jackson carries the ball more in this football game than he has all season. The Steelers' run defense is terrifying. A name we don't talk about enough, Tyson Alualu. He is playing out of his mind next to Cam Hayward. You can't run. I know
no doubt.
Marcus said this is going to be a slobber knocker. Yeah. You can't run it up the middle against Pittsburgh. You got to get outside. Lamar's going to have to get outside and run the football himself.
Hey, really quickly, Mina, when you think about the trade deadline rapidly approaching, it's next Tuesday, do you think the Ravens need to go out and get somebody to help Lamar?
Please, Baltimore, if you're listening, bring Lamar another wide receiver. Jamison Crowder, Golden Tate, I don't care. Someone other than Hollywood Brown and Mark Andrews. You see defenses keying in on those two guys. He needs another option. Doesn't have to be a deep threat, just a veteran who he can rely on.
Ryan, can the Ravens secondary handle the Steelers offense?
Absolutely. Listen, when you look at the first rounders they've put together in the secondary with Marcus Peters, with Marlon Humphrey, and the way that Deshaun Elliott has stepped up with Earl Thomas exiting, I think that this is a very talented secondary, but they're extremely opportunistic. I think gone are the days of shutting down people, right, and keeping people in single digits. But what you can do is turn the ball over. Marlon Humphrey is a guy that even when passes are caught on him, he gets the football out. He did it against Juju Smith-Schuster to help win the game last year. And everyone knows that Marcus Peters, though he has bad eyes sometimes, and though he can get out of place, if you make a mistake with the football around him, he will pick it off. And I think that's where this secondary comes into play this week, because we know that Ben will extend plays. Ben will try to fit balls into tight spaces. And if you do that, you give these opportunistic DBs opportunities to make plays. So it's going to be a very intriguing matchup, because where they can give up big plays, they can also make them. And I believe the turnover ratio will be the deciding factor in this game.
Man, Ryan, great
You're
points,
so right
man.
about
Y'all
that.
know what else? Like, go ahead, Mina.
Go ahead, Marcus. Mina, get back in.
Okay.
Marcus, you
I'm
can
sorry.
go.
What I was saying is, yeah, when you think about the perception, right, of this team, of the Baltimore Ravens, the winning of the regular season, good team. Yes, the Ravens are good. But this is one of those answers that we need to know if this team can legitimately be a Super Bowl contender.
Absolutely.
And Mina brought up a great point. Lamar Jackson does not have the requisite weapons based on what we see other teams that are Super Bowl contenders have. So can they overcome that? Can his talent overcome that? Because, look, this game for the Baltimore Ravens is going to answer a lot of questions. What's been the narrative? Offensively, they stagnant. They hadn't found their rhythm. No identity. Can't play from behind. Well, there'll be times in this game where they have to play from behind and make plays. This will tell us a lot about if the Baltimore Ravens are Super Bowl contenders or just a good team throughout the regular season that gives people problems because Lamar Jackson is their quarterback.
I think there's been more hand-wringing about this Baltimore Ravens team than any 5-1 squad I can remember. Everyone's so focused on this offense looking slightly worse than last season that they've ignored the fact that this is one of the best defenses in the NFL. And to Ryan's point, they are uniquely situated to stop this Steelers offense, which has been tremendously efficient because of the physicality of their corners. They can play tight coverage. That ball's coming out hot. Ben Roethlisberger's been throwing the ball faster than any quarterback in the league. But the Ravens have the manpower to not only cover and keep those throw underneath and limit yards after catch, which, by the way, that's the Steelers offense right there. It's all about yards after catch. These Ravens corners can limit them. They can also force turnovers. And if they force Ben to turn the ball over, they can win this football game.
All right, we're going to pick this game later on. Wait till you see who these guys are picking. We're going to get to that, so stay tuned. And we're just getting started here on NFL Live with Julian Edelman out and a struggling Cam Newton. Does Bill Belichick have any tricks left up those cutoff sleeves for the Bills? Why, one person here says the Pats need to be big sellers at the trade deadline. Plus, the long-awaited debut of